I am Steve Mignonti doing the Junkyard Crawl here at P&F Auto Parts in Munson, Massachusetts with a 1965 Chevy Viking 60 C.O.E. C.O.E. stands for cab over engine. The beauty of a cab over design is that unlike a regular pickup or truck with the conventional start with the hood and the nose, these are way more maneuverable in tight quarters, back streets, construction sites, behind the supermarket, unloading food and whatnot. You can back in and nose out way easier with the cab over than you would have with a conventional with the snout sticking out 5-7 feet ahead of the vehicle. So kind of cool styling. It was 1965, and I believe these came along in 1960, the styling cycle, the cab over here, but just really cool, just, sort of trapezoids, rectangles, and circles working in harmony. I love the vertical blinker directionals right here, supplemented by the taller ones up top here, but up, low, and high, depending on if you're in a car or in another vehicle. It's high. You can get a good sense of if the truck's going left or right, up or down with the lamps being there. Of course, the Chevy bow tie, Chevrolet. These are also built for GMCs, similar but had 4 headlights. Otherwise, basically the same genes and bones. And of course, being a cab over, these do tilt. There's hinges right here. And there is, I believe, a hydraulic system that allows this to tilt. And it unlocks at the back and it tilts forward like that for full access to the engine. And lots of room inside of these things for people to spend a good day without being too cramped. And this is a 60 series. It's a 6-wheeler. And you can see the steering column has a U-joint down where it goes through the floor right there and right down to the steering box, which is bolted to the side of the frame rail on that side of the frame. And probably a power steering, I'd have to imagine, because that would be one heck of an arm buster without a power assist. But in here, we can see the goodies inside. It's a 4-speed manual with a 2-speed rear axle. The red switch right there engages the rear differential, where it has a secondary gear set for highway cruising or traveling between depots. And kind of cool. One thing in here, we have the data plate there on the door hinge, and the possible engines we can see there, starting from the top. We have 292 6-cylinder, or the 283, or the 327, 348. And the 409. Yes, the 409 was also used in trucks up to 1966 in trucks. And of course, passenger cars, 1965 was a family year for the She's Real Find My 409. But this one here is the 327. We can see hints of it through the back there. It's not very easy to see. And the beauty of these things really is that with the cab tilted forward, pretty much full access to the engine to work on the exhaust manifolds or whatever it might need tuning or fixing on it. And again, Chevrolet Viking. What a great name, Viking. And a 60 series right here. These were available also, I think, in 80 series and, larger trucks. And again, the 409 was certainly a possibility. No tri-powers, no dual quads. It was strictly a single 4-barrel, a worker engine. And it says here the horsepower rating on the 409 was a mere 215 at 4,000 RPM. But keep in mind, that's a rated. Truck ratings are different from passenger car ratings. 215 horsepower, but probably about 350 foot-pounds of torque to get this thing moving down the road with a full load of stuff. And this is a stake truck, flatbed right here. The stakes would go in these receptacles right here. Up they would go. Load some railroad ties or logs or whatever you might want to load on the back of this thing. And it's a long wheelbase on this here. And again, the 2-speed rear axle is right back there, actuated by the lever on the steering, or on the shift column, or shift lever, I should say. And there it is right there, a long 2-piece drive shaft. And the brakes on this would have been a band that would go around the transmission, and basically that would be the parking brake. The parking brake, not the actual service brakes. Those would be on the drums, front drums and rear drums, big drums, by 14-inch monsters. And again, the dualies at the back right here. I should say tandem tires, but not a dually. These were also available with 2 axles at the back. This is a single axle, so it's a 6-wheeler. But again, a heavy-duty device right here. A huge rear axle and a monstrous thing, probably made by Rockwell. It's probable, don't know. But again, there it is there. Big drum brakes right there. You can see they're hydraulically actuated, of course. And you can see right here a hardwood spacer between the frame rail and the bed of the vehicle. That wooden stuff right there with U-bolts looks kind of rinky-dink, but that's how they're done right there. It allows the a good way to allow the bed to be bolted down without any kind of twist. The wood sort of absorbs any kind of imperfections between the frame and the bed of the bed itself. So that's the story of this 1965 Chevy C60 Viking, not a 409. I would say if it was a 409, that engine would have been long gone. But again, those truck engines, 4.9s, would be about 7.5 to 1 compression, not like, a passenger car, which would have as much as 11 or 10 to 1. These workhorse trucks. The 327 is a good, tough little engine. You could probably pull it out of here. It's probably a 4-barrel, I'm almost sure. The 327 4-barrel. It says here that the rating in that would have been 158 horsepower. And again, that's a small, modest rating for the truck, of course. And great design in so many ways. So I like the Sam's Snowmobile Sales and Service, Munson, Mass, just down the road from where we are right here. Kind of cool. So that's the story of this 1965 Chevy C60 Viking cab over truck 6-wheeler. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the SteamX YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.